Hello and welcome to Exercise for Everyone. This is Lesson 1, Ab Crunch. Part 9, Increasing the challenge of a held crunch by using weights. And remember, you can add these options to various crunches you'll see in future lessons. Anytime you hold a crunch, make sure your neck angle remains in neutral. Chest press in a held crunch. Keep the weights in line with your chest and your shoulders, never over your face or over your abdominals. Keep the weights light, as this is about the abdominals, not the chest. Alternating individual chest presses while holding a crunch. We add more control and coordination by doing this one arm at a time. Try not to accidentally rotate your chest and upper body. Keep it straight and still. Alternating chest press arms while holding a crunch. Like the last variation, but rather than the arms moving one at a time individually, they move together alternately. Chest press weight toss in held crunch. Toss the weight ball directly over your chest, not over your face or over your legs. Also try to maintain the height of your crunch. Chest press weight toss in a held crunch from one hand to the other. Keep the weight light enough and small enough that you can have a good grip on it with your hands. Chest fly in a held crunch. Keep your arms in line with your chest and your shoulders. Try to stay as high in the crunch as you can and enjoy the range of motion. Keep the weights light enough that your abdominals can do this exercise. We'll do chest flies in a future lesson. Alternating one-arm chest flies in a held crunch. In this variation, you'll really feel the challenge on the oblique muscles as the weight and the arm pull one at a time away from your center of gravity. Tick-tock chest fly and held crunch. Similar to the individual arm chest fly, but now as one weight comes up, the other one goes down simultaneously. Again, this is going to present a challenge for your coordination and stability, as well as the strength of your core. Chest fly, passing a weight from one hand to the other in a held crunch. As in any of the crunches where we're making the weight pass from one hand to the other, use an appropriate weight. I prefer the Pilates ball, as you can grip it well and it just fits perfectly in the palm of the hand. Of course, you want to keep your arms and the weight in line with the chest and the shoulders, never over your face or down by your legs. Tricep extension in a held crunch. Keep those elbows directly over your shoulders. Of course, pay attention to where your weight is in space and make sure that you don't hit your head. And last but not least, stay as high in the crunch as you possibly can. One arm alternating tricep extension in a held crunch. As with all weighted crunches, keep the weights light enough that your abdominals can control this exercise. Alternating triceps extensions while holding a crunch. Like the last variation, rather than doing each arm one at a time, you will use your arms simultaneously and alternate them one at a time to increase the challenge for the stability of your abs. Weighted pullover and a held crunch. Be mindful not to overextend your shoulders. Anytime the weight goes over our head, it really increases the force that pulls into our abdominal muscles, which will make it feel much harder to hold the crunch. Weight twist with the weight above your chest in a held crunch. The weight twist adds some more work for the stability of the shoulders and the obliques. Weight twist from the chest to the knees in a held crunch. We combine the control it takes to twist the weight with the stability it takes to lower and lift the arms. Medicine balls and dumbbells work great for this option too. Weight twist while moving your arms overhead in a held crunch. As we already have learned, anytime we move the weight over our head, it feels much harder for the abdominals. This version is also going to challenge those shoulders. Make sure you can control the weight overhead with your shoulders and never overextend them. Weighted halo circles in a held crunch. This variation requires a lot of control and stability in the shoulders as well as in the core. Maintain the height of the crunch and try not to circle the weight too fast as you want to be in control. Weighted angel arms in a held crunch. Keep the weights light here. The challenge will be in that the arms and the weights are extended further away from the center of the core, making them feel heavier just by the nature of being further away from our bodies. Pilates weights work great for this one. Weighted extended arm switches in a held crunch. Enjoy the extension and the oppositional arm movement in this variation. Moving slowly, you can take the time to really feel how the core has to stabilize you as your arms switch. Passing weight from chest to over knees in a held crunch. As you pass the weight around, make sure that you really make a circle. The bigger the circle, the more the challenge for the core. Passing the weight overhead and then over your knees in a held crunch. In this variation, the more extended your arms are, the more challenging this crunch will be. Also, make sure you pass the weight in both directions on this crunch as well as in the ones in the rest of this series. Passing the weight behind one extended leg in a held crunch. Now our leg becomes an obstacle to have to reach around. Try to keep that extended leg very still, passing the weight from overhead to around one extended leg in a held crunch. Similar to the last variation, but now the arms are further extended away from our center of gravity, making it more challenging. Both legs extended straight up, pass the ball from chest to around the legs. Keep those core muscles in control of your legs. Try not to move them. Legs extended straight up, weight from overhead to around the legs in a held crunch. Challenge yourself to stay as high in the crunch as you can. If you can't quite make the pass behind your legs, try softening your knees just a little bit so that you can reach. Legs held up and slightly apart, pass weight from chest around each leg in a figure 8. In this crunch as well as the next, you can pass the ball around the outside or through the inside and then around to the outside. Legs extended up straight and slightly apart, pass weight from overhead around the legs one at a time in a figure 8. And keep those legs still for now. In future lessons, we'll be doing leg movements in our crunches. Thanks for watching! In Part 10 of Lesson 1, we will be exploring ways to use a resistance band in an upright crunch.